ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another exciting webinar by The Talk. My name is Anmol Garg. I'm the founder of a sales training company called Sales 5X, and I'll be your facilitator today. Look, the world has changed. These days, wearing makeup or wearing perfume is not as important as wearing a mask. All right. So if you've been wearing a mask, put yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box if you've been wearing a mask every time you go out. Brilliant. Okay. Great. We have a lovely audience today who is adhering to the rules. Brilliant. Okay. The Talk is a new media and thought leadership platform, a flagship vertical. The Talk Big Ideas is a platform for events, magazine, and the Talk TV for SME and startup entrepreneurs. The Talk Big Ideas engages with SMEs and startups on a regular basis to find the challenges of entrepreneurs and is committed and focused in creating platforms for small, medium businesses to connect, to engage, and get new insights to scale their business. This session is presented by BSE SME, hosted by BNI Salem in association with TAI, Chennai, Hyderabad, Coimbatore, Bangalore, Kerala, ITF, BNI, Coimbatore, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Erode, Have, and Hen. I now invite the CEO of The Talk, Mr. Satish, to kindly share a few words with us.
Thank you, Anmol. Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to Mr. Madhavan, MD of PEPS Industries, and it's a great, as Mr. Gopinath sharing with us. It was a great, inspiring story, to hear Mr. Madhavan, because I also happened to hear one of his talks at Bangalore some time back, and I decided that day that we should have Mr. Madhavan at talk at some point of time, and we got that opportunity today, and I'm very happy to have him addressing our entrepreneurial network entrepreneurs across all over from India. And I welcome once again, and I look forward to his inspiring talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
sir. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Satish. We have Mr. Gopinath, who is the Executive Director, BNI Salem. So if you can give us the welcome note.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, thanks to Mr. Satish and Mr. Anmol. Thank you, Mr. Madhavan, for sharing your life journey with us today. I welcome all the participants who are all from different parts of the country. If you are from Tamil Nadu, Ellarukum Vanakkam. If you are from other parts of the country, Swagatam, Namaste. And I welcome you. I don't want to stand between you and the speaker today. I know that everybody is excited to hear to him. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much once again.
Sure. So I'll give in a quick introduction. It's now time to welcome our keynote speaker, someone who is very inspiring, someone who is a role model for all of us. He's one of the pioneers of the concept of branded mattresses in India. He founded PEPS Industries Private Limited in 2006. While most people would be working out their retirement plans at the age of 60, Mr. Madhavan decided to venture out and set up his own business, one that has had a turnover of over 300 crores between 2017 and 2018. He started his journey as a management trainee in the rubber industry and joined Kurlon in 1977. During his tenure in the company, he became an integral part of the growth story of Kurlon. By 2006, when the company had reached its pinnacle in the mattress industry, he was serving as the president of operations for Kurlon. In 2006, he accumulated over 45 years of experience in the mattress industry and realized that it was time for the industry to go to the next level, that of spring mattresses, which accounted for only 2% of the market share at that time. When he realized that he could not bring such a revolution from within the system, he stepped up, built his own spring mattress empire. PEPS Industries, which is the leading spring mattress company in India at the moment, has had a dream run. Today, he's going to talk about building a business of 500 crores through disruptive innovation. So to all my lovely friends out there, if you're excited about this talk, type yes in the chat box. Let's keep some energy flowing. If you are looking forward to a lot of learning, type yes in the chat box. All right, there you go. Our audience is excited. The panelists are excited. So with a huge round of applause, I know I cannot hear your round of applause, but still give it up for Mr. Madhavan.
Thank you. Thank you, Anmol, and thank you, Satish and Gopinath, for giving me an opportunity to be here today and speak for over 45 minutes. As you are rightly said that I have spent over 44 years as of date in a mattress industry. There is a small correction that I stepped into an entrepreneurial role at the age of 55, and now today, yesterday I completed my 68 years and stepping into my 69th year journey by age. But my spirit still remains as high as about 28 to 30 years young chap. That's one of the most essential things when you want to build a brand by itself. The flow of my talk will be like this. I will talk about the industry as a whole, and then I will talk about the customers, and then I will get into certain disruptive actions which we have taken to set a brand today, what is known as India's largest selling spring brand, and it is called as PEPS. Normally, many confuses it with PEP, but it is actually called PEPS, and PEPS stands for Perfect Explanation to Peaceful Sleep. This is what we have done it. And the credit to bring PEPS into the market, credit to disrupt the market should also go to two of my great partners. I being the founder member, the credit must goes to them. They are one Mr. Manjunath, another one is my partner Mr. Shankaram. This venture is set up by three of us way back in 2005. At the point of 2005, when an opportunity came to us to take over a dead industry, you can call it, at Coimbatore, somebody offered us whether we are interested to set in the spring mattress industry, which was set up by somebody else there about a decade back, and they are interested to sell the company. At the point of time, I would like to tell you, they were doing a turnover of rupees 1 crore a year. 1 crore a year they were doing, and they had a licensing agreement with the world's fourth largest brand of mattresses, spring mattresses, that is Restonic Corporation of United States of America. And they were fed up with these guys, and they were about to, terminate their licensing agreement at that moment of time. When this offer came to us, at that point of time, I was, as Satish said, that I was closer to around 55 years of old, and I had two thinking: should I take a risk of, stepping out and set a new brand myself? And when I had this point of view, normally, when you have this type of confusions, you will go into your home department at your family, and you will consult with your home minister. That's my wife. And she said, this is the right thing you are going to do in your life. All along in your life, you didn't do much right things. And this is the right thing, that you should get into something which is not known to this industry at that point of time. So this is the background as to how I entered in the industry. If you talk about this industry, mattress industry is not too big as people think, though the product is a must for each and everyone. I always tell people that the basic necessity of man is water, food, shelter, and air. Then I place mattresses as the next necessity, you see, because the entire day when you wake up depends on a good night's sleep. That's the reason we always talk about a great sleep, not a good night's sleep. So mattress is such an essential one. This industry is roughly around 10,000 crore. So far, nobody has done any scientific estimation of the industry as a whole. It's around 10,000 crore industry. And basically this industry, at the time of my venturing into metal spring industry, a metal spring product, this industry was basically on conventional mattresses, that is coir, they call it as rubberized coir, and then to some extent polyurethane foam mattresses. These were the only available during those period of time. And I have come across one industry, who was slightly doing something with the metal springs. Otherwise, metal spring was not much known to this industry. Gentlemen, if you see the world as to how they sleep, 77% of the world's population today sleeps on metal spring mattresses. Metal spring mattresses are known as the engineered product, which is made suitable to a customer by what the ergodynamics talks about. So this is the background of this industry. And now I would like to talk to you about the customer per se. As I rightly told you people that this is a product which is as necessary as the basic needs of a man. But however, the customer's interaction with the product is highly negligible, I can say. It's too poor. And the biggest challenge today for any mattress industry is how to engage your customer with the product. How do the customer feel that an investment on a mattresses is very essential for him to be better the day after his sleep. This is one of the biggest challenge we got. I came across an article very long back. You see, this article was something related to a statistical figure, which they have presented, which talks about most essential consumer and consumer durables for a household. This was the article on that. And they had around, if I am correct, around 45 items mentioned in the list as the most essential. Believe it or not, mattresses took the place of 39th item. When it is such an essential one, it took the rank of 39th in the most essential consumer durable and consumer product for a livelihood. So this is the status of this industry. And I worked in the industry for closer to about 44 years. And we came across this thing. At the point of time, I'm talking to you around the period is around 2005 and 6, wherein the globalization has brought all the international product to India. Talk about automobile industry, talk about, white goods. Everything was, as per the global standard, but for the mattresses. So this was the point, which was lingering around us. And we were thinking about as to why don't we disrupt this industry, mattress industry, with a product which talks about international comfort, which talks about international luxury. This was the thought process which we had at the point of time. But one of the very important thing was, worldwide, 77% of people sleeps over metal spring mattresses, but not in India. The thought when came to our mind, we had certain problems to face. The first problem was, Indians by and large believes that sleeping on a hard mattresses is good for health. From Vedic period, people were told that hard mattresses is good for your back. When you talk about European countries, they believe that sleeping on a very soft mattresses is good, comfortable. If you go to Europe, recently I was with my son in Netherlands. It was really difficult for me to sleep on his mattresses because you literally sink in his mattresses. And that is the norm there, which is they felt that a soft mattresses is always good. On the contrary, Indians believes that hard mattresses is good. So the first thing we did was, we made the product that has to be sold in our country convenient for them to use. All that we did was, we neither made a hard mattress nor made a soft mattress. We made what is known as a foam mattresses. Metal spring mattresses is only the mattresses that is firm enough because it's an engineered product. All that you have to do is, you have to work on the metallurgy of the product so that the firmness is achieved. So the first thing in the process of disrupting this industry we did was, we made the product which is suitable to the customers. Second thing, the problem which we faced was, people were believing that all metal spring mattresses being a foreign product or an international product is not affordable. All that we did was we made the product and positioned it for those who want to graduate themselves into a better product than the conventional product on which they sleep. So the positioning strategy is also a key success factor in our growth. All that we did was we kept this product slightly equal to the conventional mattresses, but a little extent it is expensive than the conventional mattresses. So convenience, then we came out with a modification in the product, and then we made the product affordable. In the first year, I got some statistics here. It's very interesting for you guys to know. In the first year, that is in 2006 and 7, we did around rupees 4.8 crores as our turnover. We made around 8,600 mattresses per annum, 8,600 mattresses per annum. In the subsequent year, 2007 and 8, we touched around 13.69 crores. We made 23,700 mattresses. In the year 2016 and 17, I'm jumping a bit more, we touched around 252 crores and we made 2.6 lakhs mattresses. Today, we are closer to around 500 crores. Unfortunately, the COVID has surfaced somewhere in the beginning of March. Otherwise, we would have surpassed that figure of 500 crores. And today, we are selling around 4 lakhs mattresses per annum. We at present grow at a rate of around 27% CAGR with a substantially good EBITDA. All this we could do because we have disrupted the industry with our new product. We made the product more accessible, more convenient to use, and we also made that affordable to our customers. This is a thing. In the process, one of the greatest achievement, I think, as an entrepreneur, I can say it is not about the turnover or creating a segment within the industry. As I already told you, this industry is around 10,000 crore. And if you take metal springs as a segment, it's maybe around 900 crore. And we hold closer to about 53% of this segment in our hand as a brand leader. We place the product at the bottom of the market, and gradually we displaced the bigger brand and we surfaced ourselves as the brand leader. This is the one thing. The biggest achievement I could say as an entrepreneur is we have seen that several newcomers started manufacturing metal spring mattresses. This is one of the achievements I can say at this stage. We have sown the seed for somebody to think as to what they have to do. So a lot of small timers have come out with metal spring mattresses, and the big time brands are also slowly drifting from their core competency into metal spring mattresses. This is a sort of an achievement I can say, apart from the turnover and creating a segment of 500 crores and being a brand leader. Someone was asking me as to what is the reaction of you when you see several people started coming out with metal spring mattresses, and big brands also drifting away from their core competency into metal spring mattresses. Don't you think, Mr. Madhavan, this is a threat for you? I said, definitely not so, because as a brand leader, if the segment grows, a larger pie will come to me. And in fact, I should work towards the growth of segment, because conversion market is a huge market for us. I said this is a welcoming sign for the industry as a whole. So in a gist, I have talked about my industry. In a gist, I have talked about how I have disrupted the whole mattress industry and become a leader of a segment within a short period of 2005, and today if you talk about 2020, it's around 15 years. how I could get into this. I have already explained to you. Many used to ask me, in fact, Gopinath and I met long back in one of gathering. Very many of them started asking me what is the critical success factor of yours, they asked me. And they thought that I will be talking about the product, the innovation, the disruption. They also thought about the positioning I did, and they might have also talked about the way the brand was built, which is unique by itself, and several factors they thought about it. But definitely, gentlemen, I told them one of the secret of my success is I firmly believe in one thing. That is, every one of us cannot do great things in life. This is my firm belief. At the age of 68, I'm talking to you. If you can ask me as to why do you think everyone cannot be able to do great things, are you telling me that no one should attempt to do great things? I say definitely not so, because if you want to do great things, you require 6 attributes. These attributes are: you need great influence, you need great power, you need great position, you need great resources, and you need great intelligence. And I think all these great 6 things will not be blessed to many. If you take me, I was just an employee of an organization with a mindset to be an entrepreneur over a period of time. That was behind my mind, and I was deeply working on that. Else than that, I didn't have these 6, what you call it as attributes. Then what should one look at? If you ask me, you should be prepared to do small things in a great way. Don't look at doing great things. Because to do small things in a great way, again, you require 6 attributes. First attribute is love. Second attribute is passion. Third is care. Fourth is worship. And fifth is selflessness is what is required. These are the factors that is required. Love, and you require passion, you require care, you require worship, you require selflessness. These things are easily available to almost all of us. I don't think to have great, love, I think you need to spend anything. You need to have great attention. I don't think you need to spend anything. To have a great passion, I don't think you require a lot of energy and support. And to have great worship to what you do, I don't think. And to be selfless and see all around you also be happy and they grow together with you, I don't think you need to spend anything. This is the secret which is essential today for any entrepreneur if he really wanted to do great things. I don't know how much time is left over for me to speak. I think that Anmol has to tell me. Anmol, if I have a bit of time, shall I give one more anecdote on what I believe? Can I give an anecdote?
Sure, please go ahead.
I like to give an anecdote. You see, India is a country of temples, and South India is the epicenter of temples, and Tamil Nadu has the largest temples in our country, if I'm correct. I think it runs around 34,000 temples are there supposed to be in Tamil Nadu. One of the greatest temple in Tamil Nadu, I think one should not miss to see, is the temple at Tanjavur, and it is a temple of Lord Shiva. It's a temple called Brihadeshwara's temple, one of the wonderful temple. You know, this temple is nearly 245 feet or so height, the height of the temple. And during those days when I'm speaking, this temple is really tallest temple. And this temple is built by none else than Raja Chola. And he was one of the greatest emperor South India had. And I was told that his empire was covering up to Indonesia during those part of the time. This Raja Chola had one of a great dream in his life, just like we had a dream to ensure PEPS as the greatest brand in metal spring mattresses, and the countryman must enjoy international support and comfort. Like that, he had one of the greatest dream. He had a greatest dream of building one of the tallest temple. That was the greatest dream he had. And this temple took around 6 years to build, and thousands of artisans, thousands of engineers, thousands of sculptors, thousands of workmen worked for this industry, for this temple, I was told. And Tanjavur, I need not want to tell specifically. I think Satish and Gopinath will agree with me. It is one of the hottest places. And 6 years, and the king told to his men that I need to see not even a day, not even an hour that work for the building of the temple is stopped. So all these people started working non-stop for 6 years. During the course of the time, something great miracle seems to be happened there. The miracle was one very elderly lady, very old lady. In Tamil, they called Patti, grandmother-like. She used to visit this temple from the nearby village every day during afternoon with a big earthen pot of, buttermilk. She used to visit, which is laced with spices, mild spices, and a bit of salt. She comes with an earthen pot full of buttermilk, cold buttermilk. And she serves the artisans who are working for this temple regularly without stopping even for a day until the temple is about to complete. During the course of the completion of the temple, she came as usual and she met the chieftain of the temple, the chief engineer of the temple, and she requested him that she has a small wish in her life, and she wanted the chief to see whether that could be fulfilled. She said, it's not a great thing I wanted. I have something small, but I want to do it a bit great. And the artisan, the chief asked, what is your thinking? She said, look at the top of the temple where the sanctorium is to be of the temple. At the top of the temple, you need to cover a portion which is just around 2 feet by 4 feet with a stone. And this stone will be presented by me, she said. The chieftain started laughing by telling, we get so much of stones from everywhere, and it doesn't matter who gives. We don't know from whom it comes. What is wrong in taking your stone? She said, there is a story behind this stone. This stone is used by my predecessors in my house to sit and do the cooking. And now I'm quite ripe-aged. I don't know whom to give it. I wish to see that the stone remains at the sanctum sanctorium's top forever. As usual, within no time, the stone came there, they dressed up and placed the stone there. The completion was almost getting to over, and Raja Chola was highly excited, and he was planning with his family as to how to inaugurate this temple. The inauguration has to be the world's best, he thought. He started calling all the great people around the countries. His invitation went across the globe, and the preparation was going on, and Chola was completely tired. One night, while he was sleeping in his bedroom, perhaps I think he might have used PEPS mattresses too. While he was sleeping in his bedroom, he saw a dim light at the other end of his bedroom. He could literally see someone standing there. So he had just a slumber, you see, and he felt like, who entered my bedroom at this odd hour and with a small candlelight? And as he started looking at that image, the image started growing, and it became a larger image of Lord Brihadeshwara. He stood in front of him and he addressed the king with a small word. He said, "Oh great king, I am highly delighted by the temple where I am going to dwell being given to me by an elderly lady of your kingdom. by an ayah, she has provided me a great temple, and I am prepared to be dwelling there. And this could only possible, you have provided her to do this service. As the king was about to talk to the Lord, saying that it's me who built the temple, the image vanished. He didn't have a word. That night he couldn't get a sleep. So he rolled on his bed, left, right, and center. Early hour of the morning, he woke up and he rode himself to the temple site. As usual, people were preparing for the inauguration. He summoned the entire lot of people there and asked them, do you have somebody here who is an aged lady? Then those people said, where is the question of an aged lady in a temple building? Because this is such a tough work. Even if at all we have ladies, they are not aged. He said, no, I want, you have someone who is ripe aged, who has worked for this temple. They said, no, in our register, there is no one like that. Finally, someone said, oh, is he talking about that party? Her name is Alagu Party. Is he talking about her? Then the king said, yes, yes. What did you say? Some party. Who is she? I want to see her. They said, she hasn't done anything for the temple. All that she did is bringing laced buttermilk non-stop across the year in this hot sun and giving us to work. This has provided us a great energy for us to work and complete the passion of yours. The king then felt that it is worthless to attempt to do great things. We need to do small things in a greater way. If someone asks me, what is the secret behind this disruption, is that the focus the team had given, the attention the team had given, the worship the team had given on the business is only the secret behind this brand. The disruption was a great disruption, I can say, and the disruptive innovation has led a new segment into my mattress country. I think, Anmol, now I'm prepared to have some thing.
Sure.
Somebody wanted to talk to me.
Yes, thank you so much for that inspiring address. Thank you so much for that inspiring address. Loved what you shared with us. Don't go for great things, do small things in a great way. Wow.
You see, because many started asking me, sir, don't you think at the age of 55 you took such a risk of coming out of an organization where you should have stuck by doing something and pleasing them? You see, I said, definitely not. It's not the question of 55. At the age of 50 itself, I was thinking that there need a day where I should do something better than what I am doing. And there is no question of risk when a small things to be done, because it's not a great thing which required all that, attributes. Small attributes will make it. I said, it is not a risk. To start a business, there is no risk. Risk is only the mindset, I said. Risk is only the mindset. But you need to have two qualifications. One is competency, another is capability. If you have these two, business is at your doorstep, I said.
Sure, sure. So we have Gopinath Nasser, who is the director of E2E Excite. If you have, gentlemen, if you have questions, you can ask Mr. Madhavan. I'm open the floor for the audience as well. So if you have a question, type in the Q&A section. We have a question by an attendee. He is asking, what's your opinion about COVID-19 pandemic situation? Entrepreneurs are facing a loss in revenue. There's no production. What should they do?
Yeah, I think I recently, attended a webinar on a subject as to what should be the norms for the industry in COVID-19. I simply say that COVID-19 is definitely has upsetted the apple cart, definitely, as on today. See, this year I was looking for a huge turnover. As of March, I could do very paltry thing. I only worried about how to have continuity in my business. That is the thing. Definitely it has upsetted the apple cart. But It is a universal problem. The lockdown, according to me, is an economical lockdown. It is a lockdown of the business. But one can do whatever he is doing to sustain his industry. No one should worry about how to sustain your industry. Because if you talk about my industry, you see, I have a huge workforce across. I should ensure that those workforces are kept in tandem. And I have a commitment to a lot of my creditors. The material has to come, which I am trying to do. I think you should accept it and move ahead. Someone was also asking me that it appears that henceforth, much of a sale will be done through your e-commerce or web sales will be another opportunity for you to do. I said one should not rubbish it, and we are also actively involved in our web sales. The only problem with mattresses, gentlemen, look and feel is what customer prefers, simply because the ticket size is slightly large. If you talk about my product, my ticket size is slightly large. The reason is this product, I call it as an investment. In fact, that's the reason where we have opened around 200 centers across the metro where one can come feel the mattresses and take it. That means to answer your question in short again, this has to be accepted and you have to see a new norm as to how you can do. Just like, you know, I was talking to someone by telling how you adopt best practices. Now it is time for you to look into next practices well within your business.
I like the
Anmol, if I may, I have a question to ask to Mr. Madhavan.
Yeah, please.
So when you ventured from being in service to business, who did you go to for the strong opinion? Who gave you that strength to jump into business?
This is a very secret. Answer is too secret, but to share with you, I should not miss. All that I did was I went to my wife and told her. She was telling me, you are restless from past 2 years. What's the reason? She asked me, do you have problems in your work? I told her, no, I'm having a comfortable working atmosphere. My problem is my mind is asking me to do something different. And I'm not, dare enough to do it. So I'm stuck with it. Then she said, what is that different you are talking, which is disturbing you? I said, two of my partners and we wanted to venture into metal spring mattresses, which is not at all known to this country, new product. And we are not that big, having great investment and all. And I want to venture. My age is 55, and that part of time I had my two sons. I think one of my son has just joined a service as an engineer. Another son was about to complete his engineering, and this is the situation, and I am stuck with it. I wanted to join with this group and start looking as an entrepreneur, but I'm stuck there. So I want your opinion. She said, you should not waste a minute's time. I was taken aback, as if she is Moses. She said, you should not waste a minute time, because all along your life, you are a big banyan tree. You can grow into a larger spectrum and give shade for many, but you have been bonasied. Your roots were cut and you have been made to remain in a small earthen pot. She said, you should be planted in a forest, and forest is your new business. She said, you jump. I asked her, she's a lady, so I'm very sure, no intoxication. I said, definitely. She was a strength for me. I can proudly say that she was strength. One more thing she added was, at the point of time, she was a banker, she was working. She said, worst come worst, you have your own house, your two sons will start flying shortly now, and your age is also young, 55, she called me young because maybe that she's in love with me. And she said, you will be a successful man. You will be a successful man. I think this is advice. I didn't go on to any consultants or anybody to ask this. So Gopinath, this is a very personal discussion.
It's very, very, very inspiring, because I already told you, I listened to it once already. I spoke to my wife also about this. So when I get
if your wife is hearing this and she will insist everything to be asked to her,
Yes,
She will
yes.
insist that you should consult everything to her.
Oh, yeah. She might.
Yeah, listening to this now, I'm inspired to get married. I think success, that's where success is.
Anmol
Yes,
is then unmarried.
Okay, so sir, this is Nasser from BNI Coimbatore. A very inspiring speech, and very proud that we have a brand from Coimbatore. And being a Coimbatorian, I'm really proud of your achievement so far.
Yes, sir. We have a world-class setup there, sir. You should visit.
Sure.
Basically, I being from operations, I have ensured that we need a world-class setup. This setup has minimum labor, maximum technology, and it's beautiful. Since you are in Coimbatore, I wish you should see the
I will
plant
definitely.
yourself.
I will visit. Now, I have a small question. So during your journey, because at 55 to keep the motivation up and running, I know you have a wife behind who gives a superpower motivation behind all the time. But in spite of that, when you started the journey, especially when you're taking it as a sick unit to rebuild it, because getting it second time right is always a very, very challenging task. And you have done that in that. So in your journey, what are all the major challenges that you've come across?
See, one of the major challenge I came across was the product per se was not very familiar. Metal springs was not known to this country to an extent that people accept this material, because it's an investment and people doesn't want to get into a product which is not known to them. That was one of the biggest challenge, because as I told you rightly, country was very much aligned with the conventional product thing. Secondly, they also thought, moment you talk about spring, they felt that it will be bouncy. You see, the feeling they had was mattresses has to be very hard. So this was the thing. Product required a lot of changes. Third thing is, this product has to be positioned where was the question. I had two choices. Should I look at volume or should I look at value? These were the two things. I always chose that I should give a value proposition rather than looking into volume. And ask me, what do you really mean by that? Really mean by that is, I don't want to get into making a mattresses which is, exaggerated figure. In 5,000 you get 2 mattresses and all accessories, that type of thing I didn't have. I thought that the customer whom I serve, even if it is one customer, he must be fully satisfied as far as the value proposition is concerned. So the first challenge I had was a product modification that is suitable. Second is the product has to be affordable to those who looks into value proposition. This was the thing. Third thing is we didn't have a great brand at that point of time. Peps was not at all known. Most of the people, if you look into the entire mattress industry, most of the industry follows the leader. The leader follower is the norm of this industry. Even in selecting the color of the brand, in selecting the brand name, everything will be what the dealer does. The differentiation is much shorter. I'm the first person to name a product which has nothing to do with mattresses. When you say peps, for instance, Anmol was earlier he was pronouncing it as Pepsi or something like that. You see, so I made it a point that in no way it should talk about mattresses, sleep. Even look at our advertisements. Normally people show a lady rolling on a mattresses. You see any of the Peps mattresses, we don't show any lady or a man at all on the mattresses, because we feel mattresses, everyone knows what it is. What is the speciality of showing a mattresses there? But we always talks about what the mattress brought in. That is, uniqueness was one of the necessity there. Second thing is, as I told you, product. Third thing is affordability on value proposition. I think I might have answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have a question from an attendee. Generally, people think that spring mattresses are made for hotels. How is Peps changing this mindset?
True. Whoever asked you the question, a slight correction I would like to make it. Spring mattresses are not made for the hotel, but whenever you go to a hotel, you see a spring mattresses. Let us say you go to any of the Taj hotels, Oberoi hotels, or any of the 5-star hotel, in norms their set is metal spring mattresses. You understand? So people always believe that spring mattresses, when you talk, they connect it to the hotel. This was also a challenge for us. That spring mattresses is not made for hotel. It is actually made for all domestic purposes. Hotel is an offshoot.
Sure.
So the answer to the question again precisely is, they have seen spring mattresses more in hotels. But actually the quantity of, you see, I just told you that we made over 4.5 lakhs spring mattresses. If you ask me what is the percentage of my hotel sales, could be about 10%.
Sure. It's now time to bring the hotel home.
Hotel home. Yeah. True.
Right. Satish, go
I'm
ahead,
not
please.
sitting here to promote my product, but
Yeah.
I have nothing else to tell you about my business experience, because 44 years is almost 2.5 life of a man in mattress industry. So I may not be able to talk anything else. So this should not be confined as I'm talking about the brand. No, definitely not. Definitely not. This webinar has nothing to do with the brand. It always talks about the mindset to set a business.
So I have a question, sir. I have a question. I just want to know which part of your business, the first 50 crores, now you are going to cross 500 crores, you said. So the first, which is the toughest for you, whether to cross the first 50 crores or the, like now you're going to touch 500. So how you will compare, how you will, assess yourself. And I just want to know your experience. And also I want to share that how entrepreneurs should look at, like especially when they are doing their business at the beginning and their early stage, and then of course how they progress from there. So I just want your comment on that.
Yeah, true. See, entrepreneurs are always facing an oasis in front of him. You see, when he starts, he feels there is water, and as he moves, he sees that water is away from him, and as he enters, he sees no water. I always tell people that we are in that syndrome, oasis syndrome. All said and done, that in the initial period of your business, you will have to answer a lot of tough calls. Just like Nazar was asking me, what was the tough call you had in the initial period of the business? Initial period of business, you need to answer a lot of tough call, and you have to come down to the earth. You see, you should forget about yourself as to what you are. You look at me. I worked in an organization where everything they used to give me, car, driver, everything. When I set in my business, I thought that I have nothing more than that. I even never expected somebody to call me sir also, to be honest with you. I was prepared to that extent. So the first 50 crore or 25 crore, you prepare yourself. Come down to the earth. Be at the grassroots, address the grassroots, queries. Customers are the guys who will tell you whether you should be there in business or not. When I talk about customers, it could be the end customer, it could be your trade partners, they talk about it. Today we have closer to around 4,700, if I'm correct, the figure, I'm not able to catch it, dealer and distributor network. They're all with me from the day I have started the business. That means I have addressed them. So the initial part of your business, more of devotion, more of passion, and more of care is required. First 50. After 50 is also not that easy. As I told you, oasis, appears to be there. As you go, the oasis keeps going. And definitely, as you reach the spot, there won't be water. See, throughout your business is equally important.
Thank you.
I don't know whether I could answer.
No, very much. You answered.
Satish is also going to clock 500 crores soon. That's why he's asked this question.
Yes. Yeah. Someone, when used to ask me this question, I used to tell them, do you want me to retire now? Are you telling me? No. I said, I haven't touched the water. Let me keep moving. This attitude keeps you to grow.
Correct.
This attitude, Satish, keeps you to grow. The moment you get the water, there ends your growth.
True.
For any entrepreneur, challenges are important.
Yes.
See, when I entered the market with my product, there were no one ready to keep my product at one corner of their shop. It was a bitter experience, but I didn't take back. I knew that one day they will ask for my product.
Okay.
So that is in me.
Yeah.
For them to ask for my product is in me. Whether it is in the initial stage, mid stage, or end, that task should continue.
Right. Great, sir. Yeah. Yes,
It's
sir.
great. We have a question from Nirhal, and he's asking, sir, should we have a coach for the business to grow? I'm alone and no partners. I think he's referring to business partner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to have partners. If you know how to behave yourself with a partner. Don't finally end up by telling partners are bad. You see, most of the time, I have seen in many business, you know, when you fail, the last thing you do is enemy out there syndrome, you see. You point the partners rather than pointing about yourself. As long as you know how to behave with your partner, it's good. Nirmal, no, yes?
Nirhal, yes. Nirhal.
Nehal must ensure himself that he should bring something onto the table of his business in a partnership, which is differentiate you by itself. If Nehal doesn't have anything to differentiate himself among his partner, that partnership will not go longer.
Sure.
Have you understood? See, there must Nirmal must have a differentiator in him, and similarly, his partners should have differentiators so that the combined force can build a stronger brand.
Sure. I have a question, sir. What do you eat to get so much energy? You know, what is your diet like?
I am very disciplined with my physical activities. There is no a single day without lawn tennis for about an hour single. I play. My elder son is a good tennis champ, and we play together. And recently we have put our own tennis court at home. That's one thing. And I do a lot of paintings. That is my passion. I'm good at, large scale, life scale paintings on canvas. I'm not good at oil paint. I do a lot of, the other type of paints, texturized painting and all. My collections are really good. There was an article recently in some magazine which has collected a lot of my thing. I'm a keen gardener. I love to grow cactuses. If you want, you should visit my garden to see beautiful cactus. Second thing is, I always think good, and I always like people around me to be happier than me. I never feel that someone else should never be bigger than me. I always feel others should be big and I should be small in front of them so that I can acquire more and more from them. Now I will have an access to you. I think these are my own philosophy. I don't know how far. So my time throughout the day is engaged. I do a lot of reading. And when spare time, I also go as a guest speaker. VIT is where I spoke continuously. Of late, I'm not able to do that because of the COVID. I speak on a lot of forums. Anmol, that how you get engaged yourself is very important, so that you will never look into calendar and say that you are aged. When you got a lot of time to look at the calendar and say your age, then you become. Otherwise, no.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Mohan has a question. You mentioned about competency and capability. What do you exactly mean by the two?
See, when I say capability, it should not be mistook as, I can do and all, that is the dictionary meaning of capability. It is not the real meaning from the business sense. Capability, when I say, is the resources that you should have. When you enter into a business, when I say you must have capability, do you have resources? For instance, when I entered into the business with my partner, one of my greatest resources were my partners, Shankaram and Manjuna. They were great resources. So similarly for them, the resource is myself and another man. One of the resources, you see, you must have. Either it could be bank also. Bank is also a sort of resource. And competency is, you must have an excellence in your business. For instance, look at me. I can manufacture a product with this hand. I can make machines which makes the product with this hand. I can design a product with this hand. I can sell a product with this hand. All these are competency. You need to have competency. You must be less dependent on someone else. This is what I mean by capability and competency. And it takes hours together to explain that in details.
Sure, sure. We would love to have you back probably some other time, hopefully offline.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And
to understand more of this.
Nice to interact with you all. And I really cherished speaking.
It's our pleasure. It's our
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you.
So this is the gratitude section. If you loved the talk by Mr. Madhavan, please type thank you in the chat box to express our gratitude. Thank you so much for taking time out. Time out and giving us this beautiful insights. So do type thank you in the chat box as a way to show gratitude to our speaker. There you go. The chat is rolling. I'm sure everyone's loved the session. We are all going back with a lot of insights, a lot of inspiration. I think that was the need of the hour, to hear from someone who's been there, done that. Satish.
Yeah. Thank you so much once again, sir. That's a great talk. Which I am sure that inspired everyone who have attended that session, and I am very happy that you are able to spend such a long time to share all your thoughts. I thanks once again, and we look forward to more like such great inspiring talks from you in the future as well. And thank you very much from my side.